Hello, my name is Dominic, and I'd like to talk to you today about a subject that's actually pretty important to me, which is martial arts in education, specifically martial arts in schools and the core curriculum. I believe that it could greatly improve children's development both academically and physically. I'll start by first talking a little bit about martial arts' effect on history, or its involvement in history, should I say. You'll find that in a lot of ancient cultures, ancient Chinese, Japanese, Greek, Roman, Mediterranean cultures, martial arts played a key role in just their overall day to day society, culturally and artistically. Me personally, my personal history with martial arts comes from studying ninjutsu for 2 years. I studied a style called Toshindo, which is a modern westernized version of ninjutsu, focusing more specifically on self defense, defending yourself against more modern threats that you may face these days. But overall, it still taught me the same traditional beliefs, and one of the more important ones is martial morality. And martial morality is more of an umbrella term for some of these important key characteristics that people find in overall good people. Things that people try to instill in their children. Things like respect, trust, loyalty, endurance, patience, courage, and many other things that martial arts and traditionally teaches people. Now, some of the misconceptions I'd like to debunk about martial arts. Some people think that it's just a sport, which is not true. And some people even believe that it's an esoteric thing. In some religious cultures, that may be so, and in some countries, it may be considered a sport, but that's not true overall. One of the worst misconceptions, though, that I'd like to just get out of the way right away is that some people think that knowing martial arts makes you invincible, which is not true. You can't stop a speeding bullet or beat up 100 guys on the ceiling, running up walls and doing backflips off of moving trains and whatnot. That's just Hollywood playing up the culture and whatnot. But speaking of Hollywood, one person I'd like to talk about specifically is actually Bruce Lee. He played a very important role in kind of introducing American culture to martial arts and Hollywood to martial arts. He was a master of many different styles, but in all of his movies, he maintained a sense of realism with his martial arts. He truly knew these things. Now, looking into American culture and martial arts play in American culture, I'd say the closest thing you could find is probably boxing and wrestling. These things aren't exactly what you think of when you think of martial arts. They're not, like forms of karate or kung fu, but they're basically exactly what martial arts is. One of the more common types of martial arts that you'll find these days, or let's say one of the more popular types, is mixed martial arts, more commonly known these days as UFC. Um, and it's basically a bunch of people that have many different backgrounds and many different kinds of martial arts fighting in a tournament bout style fights based on a certain set of rules. Um, now, now that you know a little bit more about martial arts, let me talk about some of the benefits it can have on kids and in their early development. Martial arts does, like I said, with the martial morality, teaches the children about discipline, and discipline is one of the more important things. A lot of people think that discipline and fear go hand in hand, but that's not true. Discipline and respect are actually discipline out of respect is actually more important. Now, everybody knows that children are born crazy. I believe that everybody is born crazy, and they learn how to be sane. Some people just kind of stay that way. They stay crazy. And this is one thing that I think martial arts could help with is actually teaching children the discipline and giving them the direction they need. Because a lot of times these days, not these days, you'll always find that children a lot of times respond inherently with violence. It's in their nature, it's in human nature to respond with violence, but this is because they don't understand how to channel that violence respectively. So that's what martial arts actually would teach. Now, one play on this is actually media, and these days, media plays a large role in children's view of violence. They see it as a common thing. It's a day-to-day thing. Media is saturated with it. Every form of media. And yes, this image may be a little bit disturbing, but it's honestly, I don't even know if it's staged or not. So a little creepy there. But violence is in all forms of media: video games, movies, music, art, everything. And it's hard for kids growing up to kind of understand sometimes, without the proper direction, where violence is appropriate and what makes violence appropriate. And this is another thing that martial arts teaches you, is the discipline of all the different traits. Now, looking at Hollywood again, we'll say Kill Bill is a great martial arts movie where martial arts is actually used as a solution. The main character uses martial arts to enact vengeance on people that have wronged her. This is not what martial arts teaches you. You're in martial arts, violence is always the last course of action. Now, martial arts, I believe, is for everyone. It doesn't discriminate against any race, culture, sex, any type of person. Anyone can do it, which is why I believe that all people should do it, because it teaches all these important traits that we do try to instill in our children, but sometimes can't find the right way to do it. One thing that I actually saw, a quote I found while doing this research was, discipline is doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it. And I think this is another important thing that martial arts teaches kids, once again, with discipline. Sometimes, in life, you're not given all the things that you want, but you have to deal with what you get. Now, another thing is the unification of body and mind. This is a very important thing that martial arts teaches people, and this is why I believe it's so important to the academic side of children's growth, is because it gives them the physical nourishment they need and the discipline they need to focus in their academics. Also, it goes beyond just their school life into actually their adult life. People with these type of, again, with martial morality, knowing things like humility, patience, courage, trust, loyalty. These are the kind of things that make a good person as an adult and make you successful in life and business. So these are some of the reasons why I think that martial arts is key in society today. But more specifically, I'd like to see it included in schools and their core structures of and their curriculums. I think it would be a great addition. That's my presentation, so thank you for enjoying it.